Good afternoon, Troy from the Do-It-Yourself World and the Off-Grid Project. I have been working out in the yard recently, here and there, picking at it with time, and I've taken all my orange marker stakes and marked all of the bushes and stuff, so mowing season will start actually probably in a few days. One more rain, and one good rain and we'll have mowing season starting here. Having a look at all my plants, peach tree. Starting out slower, but anyway, I've marked all these off, and I've got all my roses that I had marked last year, and then I marked my little tiny mulberry over there. And what I've also done is over here, you can see I've put stakes around my apple trees that the deer were nibbling on, and this one and that one over there. Now what I have is some leftover electric fence stakes, which are perfect to hold up the chicken wire, and I had 4 of them, which is a perfect amount. I had 2 smooth marker stakes and 2 electric fence stakes per tree, so you just jab them in and that'll hold my chicken wire up. So I'm going to secure these in a very quick and simple manner to keep the deer away. This is a very cheap, very simple way to protect your trees from the deer, and it's only going to take me a couple minutes here. So I want to start this on the edge, and I'm just going to give this a wrap around a little bit to keep it in place. That's all I got to do. Now swing this around, stake a little, cover a couple here and there, and it'll keep that from pulling out. The deer are opportunity eaters, I've noticed. They're not really aggressively going to go after your stuff if they can't easily get to it. Unless it's a really bad season. Put this in my pocket. If it's a really bad year and they're starving to death, that's a different story. Very simple, quick job to protect the apple tree from the deer. Really easily, quickly done. And it looks nice too. It adds more of a finished look to your landscape, I think. I was surprised when I did my first ones last year how decent it looked when I was done. I thought it would look junky, but it didn't. So I cut the chicken wire off at a joint where the wire is twisted. I cut it right dead center in the twisted part, and that gives it a strong end. And I didn't want to use my Leatherman. I brought out proper wire cutters for that. Yeah, Leatherman works, but anyway, it gives you a strong end for the future on both sides. So Leatherman's better, huh? So I used to grab my Leatherman for everything. Even when I have a tool with me, I still grab the Leatherman. It's funny. So it's really rocky here. And then I have to mulch. So once I get my garden tractor rolling again, I'll get my wagon over here with some mulch. I'm going to fill the areas around the trees with the mulch. and that'll it'll stop the weeds from going up, and it'll also stop the plants from competing with the minerals and nutrients that your tree needs, and it keeps in moisture. I might come out with some baling wire later and just put a couple, 2-3 pieces on each corner, and then shape this so it's squared. It looks better. So I'll come back and touch that up later with some baling wire. But there you have it, very simple. Now that tree is protected from the deer. That's all there is to it. Now this tree really got ate up by the deer. And I didn't do these last two because in the fall they got attacked by the deer before I was done protecting them, really. I didn't get to this. I had so much going on trying to build my house that I didn't get to the protective wire for my apple trees, which was a dumb thing. It doesn't take long. It's not a big deal. But I didn't do it. So the deer were munching on these in the fall and ate the tops off pretty bad. So I didn't do anything with them until I knew if they were going to live. And they're budding, so they'll be all right. They're going to make it through. So they're definitely worth saving. Now I like to give these a nice corner. Bend them. Looks better. Fold them right on a joint. Makes a nice neat corner. You can do it. Now, some people have rabbit problems as well, and this will keep out rabbits if you have rabbits. I don't have rabbits because I have coyotes, and I have crazy wild animals in the night that eat every living thing that runs. It's a very brutal life out here in my area of the woods. Now, if you had rabbits, then you definitely want to secure them down lower and keep it tight, and you might even want to come down a little and fold outwards to stop rabbits from digging under, because rodents, what they'll do is they'll chew the bark off your tree around the base as high up as they can reach, and that's very tasty and good nutrients for the little critters. And obviously that's as bad as having the deer eat the top branches off like happened to me. But again, since I don't have the rabbits, I don't have to worry about that at all. But just to reiterate, you would maybe even use some tent stakes in the middle. Depending on how big you make your box, your cage, 1 to 2 tent stakes in the middle, all the way around, to secure that down and tight and keep out any smaller critters from going inside. But there you have it, a very simple tree cage to protect the trees from animals. Now, I'll show you around a couple of my trees that did not need protecting and why. I'm back to my peach tree here. Now, the peach tree, the deer left it alone because there's no growth below about 3 foot of height. It looks like maybe, I don't know what broke these off here. It could have been even the label swinging. I left the label on it. That could have been what broke off these little twigs, but these were dead. So there's no growth down here, and nothing bothered it. Now if you had rabbits or rodents, you'd have to protect the bottom section, but again, I don't have that. So this tree did not need any protection at all, and it's doing just fine. And over here, let me bring you over to my mulberry tree. We've got the same deal. Nothing bothered the mulberry tree. This is one I brought back from Michigan last year, because there's no growth down low. There is this branch here, and I'll keep an eye on it this year, but so far the deer did not nibble on it, probably because it's not native to the environment. They're not familiar with it. But I did not have to protect this at all, and nothing bothered it in the winter. The apple trees really seem to be the favorite food of the deer out here, and there was nothing left on this at all. They ate, you can see here, they chewed that right off to nothing. They chewed off these two branches, they chewed off this one, they nibbled off the top of this one, and here this one, and really demolished that pretty good. This tree over here had it the worst. I didn't think this was going to make it, because you can see a break right here. It's probably dead. This whole top section is probably dead, but I'll leave it for now. They chewed off everything on this tree. It was about this tall, and they chewed it all off. And I thought it was a goner, but there's some little buds coming on the base, so it's going to pull through. And next step, like I said, is to mulch around them to provide and maintain the moisture and eliminate competition for the nutrients in the soil. And there you have it, simple tree cages.